If you asked a kid in 2017, who do you want to be like when you grow up? One name always came up: Elon Musk. And for many years, he rolled with this good reputation. Investors loved him, founders admired him, and to the people, he was nothing but a creative genius. So, what changed?
Where is he? Come on up here, Elon.
It's one simple reality. What Musk is doing is illegal and unconstitutional.
For the past few months, there has been so many controversies surrounding Musk's name. From using his platform to censor free speech to his unstoppable power in government. It is without doubt that Elon has become one of the most hated billionaires today. In fact, he's upset so many people that at the time of writing, there is now a nationwide protest against him. It's safe to say Elon really fell from grace within the eyes of the people. But to fully understand who this person is behind the Musk, we must uncover how he got here. The year was 1995, and Elon, along with his brother, had just founded Zip2, a company that provided searchable business direction for local businesses similar to Google Business today, with the help of a $28,000 loan he got from his dad. 4 years later, he sold the company to Compaq Computers for $300 million. That became seed money for his second venture X.com, an online bank, which you know today as PayPal. Musk is often associated as the founder of PayPal, which is a common misconception because PayPal was formed from a merger of XCOM and its competitor Confinity in 2000. PayPal was sold to eBay for $1.5 billion, and Elon received $175 million as the largest shareholder. In the same year, about half of that money became seed money for SpaceX, which Musk founded with the help of some engineers. In 2016, SpaceX did the undoable when it landed a Falcon 9 rocket blaster.
Okay, this is bad. Potentially bad.
It was the first time a company ever landed a rocket, saving them over $60 million for a new build. Today, SpaceX makes up 36% of his wealth, or about $147 billion. In the middle of the founding of SpaceX, Musk took an interest in electric cars. Elon was introduced to Tesla at a Stanford University Mars Society talk in 2001, where he spoke with its original founders. At this time, it was barely more than an idea, with no finished car design, no manufacturing operation, and just the founders with a vision. Musk bonded with the founders over their shared interest in space exploration and invested $6.35 million in 2004. When Tesla almost went under due to struggles in production efficiencies, one of the founders was forced out as CEO. Soon there was a power struggle, and Musk offered additional money to save the company, but only if he could be CEO and directly control his investment.
How much did you put into this company?
Oh, man.
Don't tell me you don't know.
No, I do. It's about $55 million.
$55 million of your own money.
Yeah, it's a little more than I expected.
This decision would eventually make him the richest man in the world and give him the genius look he has today. Around the same time, Musk acquired a small company called Solar City, which he merged with Telsa's battery unit to form Telsa Energy. Today, Tesla Energy is one of the largest full-service solar installers in the US alone. Investment took a significant portion of his money at that time, but once Musk had net worth to spare again, he co-founded two more projects, Boring Company and OpenAI, which he quickly walked away from over disagreements about the ethics of the direction the other founders wanted to go. Musk wanted to start OpenAI because he believed that AI innovation represented a threat to humanity, so he wanted to focus on AI that helped enhance humans instead. When the other founders went in the ChatGPT direction, he bailed and co-founded Neuralink. In January 2024, Neuralink was the first company to insert a brain computer in a human being, making it worth over $8 billion. To give you an idea of how much Elon's net worth grew due to these companies, in 1999 he was worth $22 million. By 2012, he was added to the Forbes billionaire list. By the start of 2020, he was worth $16 billion. By the end of 2020, he was worth $150 billion. But here's the kicker. Between 2020 and 2024, his net worth grew from $150 to more than $400 billion. This rapid growth was due to some very strategic but questionable decisions, starting with the unknown, X. Elon Musk bought Twitter in 2022 to save free speech. But the same year, experts warned the platform could lose millions of users if care is not taken. Elon dismissed it as fake news spread by his critics.
Predicting that Twitter is going to lose more than 30 million users, monthly users worldwide over the next 2 years. Now, that's going to mean that Twitter is going to lose all of the growth that it gained during the pandemic when people were turning to the platform for news and for information about COVID-19, as well as all of the other events that were going on. Now, the US is going to be the market that is hit the hardest in this. We're predicting a loss of about 8 million monthly users by 2024, which means that Twitter's US user base, in terms of monthly users, is going to be the smallest it's been since 2015.
But from 2022 to 2024, Twitter lost 8.8% of its users, or 32 million refugees to sites like Blue Sky and Threads because of fear of Elon's control. Even media giants like The Guardian abandoned the app, citing reasons like the spread of far-right conspiracy theories and racism. It started when Elon pushed his free speech mission, firing content moderators and introducing features like community notes. Since then, there has been a rise of fake news and misinformation. No moderation allowed him to promote fake news to 200 million followers without repercussion. When users called out Elon Musk for using Twitter to spread misinformation and push political ideas for his own benefit, he responded with "F you retard." Even Grok, Musk's AI program, admits there's substantial evidence that Elon has contributed to misinformation on X, either through his personal posts or through changes to the platform's content moderation or algorithms. While Musk argued these actions are in the name of free speech, this has been criticized for prioritizing engagement over factual accuracy. But it gets worse. Elon's credibility took another hit when the account of a user was suspiciously deleted after calling him out for yearning cheap labor. The user tweeted, "My son graduated with honors with electrical and computer engineering degrees in 2023. He cannot get an interview, let alone a job. Any white male he knew in college can't get jobs either. Many are currently working in data center jobs that don't require their education." The tweet and account were deleted shortly after. The big problem is that Elon is not just creating the very problem he's trying to solve, but he's also inspiring other CEOs to do same.
I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. More specifically, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to get rid of fact checkers and replace them with community notes similar to X, starting in the US. So over the next couple of months, we're going to phase in a more comprehensive community notes system. Second, we're going to simplify our content policies and get rid of a bunch of restrictions on topics like immigration and gender that are just out of touch with mainstream discourse. Third, we're changing how we enforce our policies to reduce the mistakes that account for the vast majority of censorship on our platforms. We used to have filters that scanned for any policy violation. Now, we're going to focus those filters on tackling illegal and high-severity violations. And for lower severity violations, we're going to rely on someone reporting an issue before we take action. Fourth, we're bringing back civic content. For a while, the community asked to see less politics because it was making people stressed. We stopped recommending these posts. But it feels like we're in a new era now, and we're starting to get feedback that people want to see this content again. So we're going to start phasing this back into Facebook, Instagram, and Threads while working to keep the communities friendly and positive. Fifth, we're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas.
This approach could save Zuckerberg up to $500 million a year in salaries. But what is Elon Musk getting out of it? Nobody knows his true intentions, and that's a problem. If you recall, Elon left OpenAI because he was concerned about AI safety for humanity. In 2015, he had a real stake in the biggest technology revolution of our century, but walked away because he cared.
OpenAI, I mean, you seem somewhat frustrated with them. You were one of the big contributors early on.
The reason I am the reason OpenAI exists.
That's what he said until OpenAI released his true agenda from when he was part of the company. When ChatGPT launched in 2022 and became a success, Elon created Grok, a chatbot similar to OpenAI's ChatGPT. When that flopped, he sued OpenAI for breach of contract and again for deceit. Musk tried everything within his power to get back on the AI race. As one user put it, he could have had a real stake in OpenAI's future when it was still affordable and manageable. Instead, he walked away and missed out on the single biggest technological revolution of the decade. And now, he has no stake, no influence, and no control over OpenAI, and that's a problem. Elon tried what he knew how to do best by offering $97 billion to buy the company. But the CEO said no. If you want to protect humanity so badly, why are you investing so much time chasing one AI company when you already own 3? It seems a little bit counterproductive, don't you think?
The concern I have, and this may seem like a small concern, but I think it's actually a very big issue, is that they are not maximally truth-seeking. They are pandering to political correctness. To give you an example, when Google Gemini came out, one of the questions people asked it would be, which is worse, misgendering Caitlyn Jenner or global thermonuclear warfare? And it said misgendering Caitlyn Jenner. Now the funny thing is, even Caitlyn Jenner said, please misgender me, that is way better than nuclear war. So, okay. But if you've got an AI that has been trained so hard for political correctness, and really to make crazy statements like that, and OpenAI has a similar issue. It's more subtle, but it's a similar issue. I think that's extremely dangerous because the AI could conclude, well, the best way to avoid misgendering would be to destroy all humans. Then misgendering is impossible. So you can think of some dystopian outcomes there.
Elon tries all sorts of things for a long time. This is this week's episode.
But AI is just one of his many endeavors. 20 days ago, as of the time of making this video, a Department of Government Efficiency was formed with Elon Musk leading this team of teens. 10 days after Elon entered office, started working, there was a nationwide protest over budget cuts and Elon's access to government payment systems.
We need to be very concerned about these tech billionaires merging with the state, the government, and basically taking over the government.
Elon Musk has got to go!
They're just taking things down. And what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to put them back together again.
And the reason people are scared is as straightforward as it gets. Nobody trusts Elon anymore. A survey conducted from 1,000 people revealed that people would rather trust news from TikTok than Elon Musk's platform, showing how much of his credibility has been eaten up over the past few years. Not only that, but Elon now ranks number 3 among the world's most hated billionaires right after Zuckerberg and Bill Gates. Out of these 3, one has the strongest ties with governments. I said governments because it's not just in America. Elon's ties in China have created far more dangers than he ever has in the US, like in the case of Zhang Yazhu. Zhang was in the passenger seat with her dad driving her Tesla Model 3 when all of a sudden the car's brake stopped working. Trying to control the situation, her father swerved around 2 cars before finally losing control and hitting an SUV and a sedan, before finally crashing into a large concrete barrier. Her dad suffered a concussion and was rushed to the hospital. The incident caused a public outcry and legal battle against Tesla. Chinese traffic police concluded the crash was her dad's fault for not maintaining a safe following distance, but Zhang insisted it was Tesla's fault. The only way to prove it was to get Tesla to turn over the full pre-crash data from her car, but Tesla refused. Tesla also claimed along with the Chinese traffic police that the crash was her dad's fault. Zhang, however, still insisted that the brakes had malfunctioned, sending the car out of control. She told the media that Tesla's employees were very arrogant and tough in dealing with my complaints. I was burning with anger. After weeks of no action, Zhang was left with no choice than to organize a protest against Tesla, with her friend proclaiming brake failure in front of a Tesla dealership. She also protested in front of a Tesla auto show where she stated a family of 4 almost died due to the accident, and Tesla refused to take any responsibility. Under pressure from her protest gaining attention, Tesla finally released her pre-crash data showing that her dad was driving at 120 kilometers per hour, as well as a lawsuit for defamation. She was ordered to pay $23,000, as well as publicly apologize to the company for damaging their reputation. Tesla had finally given Zhang what she'd been asking for, but they'd published the data publicly and included her vehicle identification number. She said she and her family started getting threatened and doxxed online. Besides, she wondered how could she be sure Tesla hadn't modified or redacted the data from her car. After the lawsuit, she felt wronged and said, "As a consumer, even if I said something wrong, I have the right to comment and criticize. I spoke about my feelings as a user of the car. It has nothing to do with damaging their reputation." But Zhang is not the only one to find herself on the receiving end of a Tesla lawsuit. Between 2017 and 2021, Tesla has sued at least 6 car owners who had sudden vehicle malfunctions, quality complaints, or accidents they claimed were caused by mechanical failure, and won nearly 90% of the lawsuits. If you ever find yourself in a faulty Tesla in China, the last thing you should do is sue, because you would most likely lose. Out of 89 people who sued Tesla over safety issues, only 9 could win, leaving your chances at a mere 11% over the trillion-dollar company. And Elon's found ally in the US government does not help matters either. Just a few weeks ago, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, a public database, had received hundreds of complaints about Tesla, mostly about loan problems. The agency in charge of handling this was put out of commission, at least temporarily, by the US government. In fact, more than 5 agencies investigating Tesla, Neuralink, and his space company SpaceX has been destabilized.
For instance, we've talked here on the show about how Trump has hamstrung agencies that deal with workers' rights, including the National Labor Relations Board and the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission. Why did he go after those agencies? Well, he fired top officials at those agencies and didn't replace them. That makes it impossible for those agencies to do their job. Why did he do that? Why do we understand why that got a priority action from this administration? Well, I don't know, but the Times reports today that those agencies are handling 24 workers' rights investigations and at least 1 big lawsuit alleging racial harassment at Elon Musk's companies. In similar fashion, Trump has also fired FEC Commissioner Ellen Weintraub, Federal Elections Commission, effectively shuts down the FEC, which polices campaign finance violations. It may be helpful to know that that's the same FEC that was overseeing complaints from this last election about Elon Musk giving people $1 million checks to, quote, encourage voter registration, a lottery that he held, even though it is illegal to pay people to register to vote. Last week, we brought you the story of Phyllis Fong, the Inspector General for the Department of Agriculture. She was fired by Donald Trump. You might remember her story. After she was fired, nevertheless showed up to work the next day anyway, saying my firing was illegal and so I'm going to work. Marched her out of the office, apparently. Well, it turns out in 2022, Phyllis Fong, quote, opened an investigation into Elon Musk's brain implant startup company, Neuralink, stemming from allegations that Musk's company had, quote, mistreated dozens of test monkeys, mistreatment that Elon Musk himself denies.
Okay, so Elon is not a saint. We get it, but how does it affect you? Especially if you live in the US. In an attempt to fix spending, Elon's agencies requested access to millions of taxpayers' information. The goal is to root out fraud and save the economy from national debt. But given Elon's recent track record, it's justifiable why people would be scared.
Think about it as like a data security, cybersecurity risks, right? Risks of private information about individuals, like their social security numbers, their bank account information, getting out to the public. I would think of another category of risks as national security risks. So you're making it more possible for our adversaries. The less secure this data is and this infrastructure is, the more possible it is for our adversaries to be able to manipulate it.
When Elon was accused, his response was, bruh. If I wanted to rummage through random personal shit, I could have done that at PayPal. Every time Musk is confronted about his involvement in government and role of Doge, he posts memes like this.
Have you been crying like a bitch over Elon Musk? You may be suffering from a common condition known as libtardism-induced meltdown. But don't worry, there's help. Introducing Grow-A-Pair, the revolutionary prescription solution designed to help you accept reality.
You can see why it gets people who already dislike him even more upset, which increases fear of Elon's effort on the government, the economy, and you as an individual.
We understand the Musk playbook when he goes into a company, what he does. What we know about startups and what we know about the tech industry is that this move fast, break things model that is often applied in that industry and often applied by Musk often does break things. The United States government is not a startup. If we treat it like a startup, there is a high probability and a high risk, in our view, that it will break. And that's probably something that we want to keep relatively intact. Are there changes, are there efficiencies within the federal bureaucracy that we could find, right? Is there cost to cut there? I have no doubt. I'm sure there is, right? It's a very large bureaucracy. It is not a startup. It is not a tech company. It's the federal government.
Multiple sources telling Wired that a 25-year-old engineer named Marco Ellis, who previously worked for 2 Elon Musk companies, has direct access to Treasury Department systems responsible for nearly all payments made by the U.S. government. 2 of those sources say that Ellis's privileges include the ability not just to read, but to write code on 2 of the most sensitive systems in the U.S. government. These systems control, on a granular granular level government payments that in their totality amount to, ready for this, more than a fifth of the entire U.S. economy. One 25-year-old mucking around in that system.
Something about the fact that this is an unelected citizen who has all this power of the government. He doesn't know what he's doing. He has no experience working in government. He shouldn't be doing any of this. And the fact that Trump is allowing this or encouraging this is terrifying.
No king, no crown. We the people won't back down.
In order not to end this video on a bad note, here are some of the few good things Elon has done for his country. I guess he who saves his country does not violate any law.